Hey guys, welcome back to Sensible Mind. I'm Dwayne Bethia, and as you can see, I'm hanging out on the lower deck of the boat today. It's another nice day. We'll go outside too, but I just had some things on my mind. Thought I'd put another video together to talk about it. So if you guys saw one of my first couple videos, I just started the channel. So I'm going to be talking about entrepreneurship, wealth building, real estate. And so these are things that I'm going to be covering on this channel. And so it's kind of a journey for me because I'm still in the process of building things as well. But I thought that I would be able to share some of my experiences and ideas with people because there's a lot of people out there that kind of need the help. So with that being said, I want to get right into my agenda. I got a couple of notes here. I want to talk about the hustle mentality and this whole notion of a no car note, no housing costs lifestyle. So what's a no housing costs, no car note lifestyle? Well, it's a lifestyle that I'm developing for myself that has afforded me to do certain things, like this boat. I got this through a real estate deal. You know, I got a house and I got the boat with the real estate deal that I'm renting out right now. And so everything is working out great. It's not a lot of cash flow on the deal, but I looked at it as a long-term play. So I was able to get something that I like to enjoy in addition to getting an asset for my long-term investment. So a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but to start off, we talk about the no housing costs, no car note lifestyle. So what is that? So no car note, you know, I mean, a lot of people might have car notes, some people may not. If you're trying to start to build wealth, I think you want to get away from having car notes. I think we've been brainwashed in society to think that you have to have a car note, and people think, well, I have a job and I work really hard on my job, so I want to have a nice car. So therefore, I want to go and get this expensive car, or maybe it's not even that expensive, but it might be 50% of your income, which I think is way too high. And I have a percentage that I'm stating as part of my wealth building that I'm going to be putting in my next book. And matter of fact, if you guys haven't read my first book, you can find it on Amazon. It's called How to Buy a 2-Flat and Reduce Your Living Expenses. How to Buy a 2-Flat and Reduce Your Living Expenses on Amazon. So check that out. But the next one that's going to come out is going to deal more so with people who are trying to get their mind in the right place, the mindset. And it's a really big part. I think it's 75 to 80% of success at building wealth. If you don't have, you can have all the classes and tools and mentors and things you want, but if you don't have it in your mind that you're going to do it and be diligent and work hard, it's going to be very tough to be successful. So I thought that's a very good topic to talk about and work on, so people need to really understand it. So the no car, no housing cost is part of it. Like I said, if you read the book, it'll tell you how to do that. So you want to eliminate your housing costs totally, such that it's not coming out of the income from your job if you have a job. So if you're trying to build wealth, that's basically anybody with a normal job. Maybe you may have a high-paying job, I don't know. But the first step is to get rid of the housing costs. So how do you do that? Well, this whole thing is about developing different streams of income, and that's how you really get ahead, by developing different streams of income. So if you have another stream of income, you want to be able to cover whatever your housing cost is out of that stream of income. And so that's why I say getting into real estate, even if you don't really want to get into real estate, it's a good thing to do if you want to build wealth, because you can take care of your housing cost by getting into real estate and living in the building, having a tenant or two to cover the cost of that building, thereby eliminating your housing cost. Car notes. So we want to get rid of that too. Why? Well, see, the thing is, in society today, we've been brainwashed into thinking that we have to have a certain car and we got to live in a certain place. And if we can't buy those outright, then we have to rent them or whatever. So the whole thing is, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of it so it's not coming out of your money that you earn from your job. What we're trying to do is free up money so that you can take advantage of business opportunities. So I'm going to talk a lot about real estate, and I'm going to talk a lot about business, because I think you have to marry the two. You have to do both. You don't have to. I mean, you could come up with an awesome business idea and do just that. But if you're really starting from nothing, I think a good way is to get into real estate so that you can free up cash and then get into business. Now, if you have a low startup cost for a business idea that has a low startup cost, maybe you can jump in that. But typically, there's some money associated with it. And same thing with real estate. It's just that it's not as hard, and you don't need as much money. You could probably get into a real estate deal for less than $5,000 as a first-time buyer, depending on where you are. And the risk is very low. It's very low risk. And like I said, it doesn't cost that much to get into it. And you don't have to know as much. If you're in a business, you got to be a subject matter expert, or you may have to be professionally licensed, or maybe have a degree or equivalent to a degree in terms of knowledge to know what you're going to be doing, or just really have a lot of experience. And so you're starting off in real estate, you don't need as much. You might need some mentoring, maybe a little coaching or some help, but you don't need as much, and it's a lot easier. So the whole idea is to get into this no housing costs, no car note lifestyle, is so that you can free up cash. So the whole part of this that is hard for people is the discipline. You have to have the discipline and understand that you're trying to free this cash up so that you can do some other things. I try to be flexible. I'm trying to get on the cutting edge of technology, learn all about YouTube and internet businesses, and we're going to talk about affiliate marketing, drop shipping, private labeling, all these things. But you have to research, and you got to learn, and when the moment comes, you have to be ready. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're not going to be ready, and that's the problem with all this. That's why I want to talk about this no car note, no housing cost lifestyle, because that will ready you, and it also trains you to be patient, and you just have to develop a certain level of confidence in yourself to step away from the crowd and not do what everybody else is doing. They're going to talk about you and all this. I've gone through all this. I've had friends that talked about me, and I tried to do certain things and live in certain places where I was living in a building. And then when the recession came, mostly all of them had to foreclose on their homes. They had condominiums, houses they had to foreclose. Why? Well, it didn't happen to me because I wasn't paying for my home out of my job. It was being paid out of other streams of income. So when I wasn't working, or I was, I had to start a business for myself to actually get back to work, I was able to get through that period. And nobody listened to me. Everybody was driving around in their fancy cars and living in their fancy apartments downtown, and nobody really listened to me. So I think there's value in having patience and value in being able to step away from the crowd and do what's best for you. Because I think there's a lot of media brainwashing in society that tells you, oh, you can qualify for this car, so therefore you need to get it. And since you work hard, you deserve to have this car, this fancy car that's more than 50% of what you're going to make in a year. No, you got to get away from that. So you got to think out of the box, and you got to do some other things too. Like you really got to focus and learn what you need to learn. Become a subject matter expert. If you're going to start a business, you really want to learn about that business and become the subject matter expert. And that's going to take some time. So you really got to develop diligence and patience when you're trying to do these things. Whatever you're trying to do, you got to develop these skills. Especially if you're doing startups, it's going to take a lot of time. So you don't. You might have those friends that want to hang out and party all the time. You're going to have to tell them no, you can't do it, and hopefully if they're really your good friends, they'll support you in knowing that you have to spend time to do what you need to do, and if they don't, then you have to do what you need to do to get yourself set up. So these are just some of the things I wanted to go over today. Next video we're going to get a little bit more in depth and go in some particular areas in terms of, like I said, starting with real estate and doing some startup businesses. So thanks for tuning in to Sensible Mind, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.